Alabama and Georgia play in the biggest game in the SEC over the last, 10 years? Bama's going to Athens, and everybody thinks that the Crimson Tide are dead under DeBoer. Lot to prove in this matchup, and we're going to preview it. The Bama Tailgate Show from the Old River Grill here at the Flora-Bama. Now.
The original Bama Football Tailgate Show is on the air. Alabama football is rolling, and we've got you covered with a breakdown of the game matchup, an SEC preview, and all the fun of an afternoon on the quad. With national championship winning quarterback Jake Coker and CoverCrimson.com host Mick Gillispie. The Bama Football Tailgate Show is presented by Pearl River Resort Casino and Hotel in Choctaw, Mississippi. Let's play! Featuring the Sportsbook at the Timeout Lounge, Dancing Rabbit Golf Course. Also brought to you by Tuscaloosa Hyundai. New thinking, new possibilities. Genesis of Tuscaloosa. Luxury with a national championship service department. Yuengling Lager. Yuengling, America's oldest brewery. The only beer you need at a Bama tailgate party. The Flora-Bama world-famous beach bar and lounge in Orange Beach. Sevierville, your Smokies start here. NewLifeArt.com, publisher of Fine Art Editions by Daniel A. Moore. Use the code Bama Tailgate for amazing deals at NewLifeArt.com.
And also brought to you by Visit Tuscaloosa, where tradition meets adventure. Alabama personal injury lawyer Steve Mesrano. Mesrano wins, we got you.
Now the host of the original Bama Tailgate Show, here's Mick Gillispie.
What do you say, everybody, and welcome to the Bama Tailgate Show, and it is great to talk to you about Alabama football. We're going to do that for the next 2 hours as the Crimson Tide gets set to take on the Georgia Bulldogs in a colossal matchup. That is going to be at Stanford Stadium, 6:30 in Georgia. Bama number 17, Georgia is number 5. Today on the show, we got Chris Lowe from On 3. We got our buddy Thom Abraham coming on. Kenny White from out in Vegas. I'm actually going to see the Mr. Power Ratings next week when I'm out there. And we're going to have Baron Huber join us here as well. He's set to come here too. The Old River Grill here at the Flora-Bama on the line between Florida and Alabama. But it's great to have all of you guys. I want to remind you before we get into things that we're brought to you by Pearl River Resort, Philadelphia, Mississippi. Short drive from Tuscaloosa and Birmingham, Vegas-style sports betting. At Golden Moon Casino, you got the Timeout Sports Lounge, and then Silver Star, which is just an amazing facility with Dancing Rabbit Golf Course, the Augusta you can play. I'm Mick Gillispie. That's Jake Coker. Are you guys ready for Alabama football? Number 17, Alabama 2-1. Number 5, Georgia 3-0. What's going on? Let me put you on. There you go.
Not too much, man. I'm glad to have a good weekend of college football finally. I feel like, when you got game day at Miami and Florida last week, it's a pretty rough weekend. So I'm glad to have some top 5, top 10 matchups.
Yeah, there's so much I want to get into with you today on the show, and I guess I want to start with first off, what's it feel like to be back here at Old River Grill? We remember last year we kind of started the season here, Bama, Wisconsin. We did the show from this very spot. Ryan Anderson joined us. Big Sexy Elmo I thought was amazing on the show. People showed up and they were like, I want to get my picture taken with Big Sex, the late great Big Sexy Elmo.
That's right. No, it feels like we're back home. We come down here, we know all these people, know the staff. Know the ownership. I feel like we get treated like family around here, and that's the kind of atmosphere you like being a part of. So can't beat the Flora-Bama Yacht Club, Old River Grill, the Bama itself.
Right.
Love being here.
Coastal when we're at Coastal. Yeah. But we appreciate all of you guys for hanging out with us here. Now, Bama's coming off of a couple of dominant wins. They looked awful in the Coker Bowl. They rebounded against ULM. I thought it was one of the most complete games that I saw Alabama play. And then they took care of Wisconsin.
Yeah, this is the week where we learn a lot about how far we've come. Week one, I think, shocked everyone because, last year, I think our biggest weakness was inconsistency.
Mm-hmm.
And to come out week one in year two under Kalen DeBoer, we all kind of expected that dominance to kind of reemerge, show some old Alabama. And we just flat out laid down for Florida State. And it was an embarrassing loss. It's one of those losses where I think the players needed to hear a lot of outside chatter talking about how that is not the standard at Alabama. I think they received it the right way and have responded the right way. We've dominated two opponents we should dominate, and that's the way it should be. But I think the biggest question is this Alabama team, when they're hit in the mouth, how are they going to respond? And this is the perfect week to kind of see where we are on that measuring stick.
Guys, if you're watching and hanging out with us on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel, please like, subscribe, share with your friends, get in the comments section. I see some of you guys have already done that. Thank you so much, and roll tide. And then for those of you that are listening on radio around the state of Alabama, including our flagship station 106.9, where last year we were number one on game days on all radio programs. Thank you for making us number one. We appreciate you guys so much, and roll tide to you too as well. And then all those other stations around the state. We love you guys too, man. Anywhere you can get the show and hang out with us, roll tide. I'm going to say it as many times as I can. Now, is Alabama ready for this game? Are they ready for this environment?
I at this point, I still don't know, because I feel like Alabama can line up and beat anybody in the country. I think we've got the talent to do that. But we haven't seen the consistency out of Alabama over the last 2 years. Can they show up and play their best week in and week out? We saw it last year against Georgia. About the same time last year, we show up, we dominate in the first half, and then it was a tale of two stories.
Right.
Come out flat in the second half and almost lose that game. So consistency is key. And when you watch us, what I worry about the most is our run game, to be honest with you. I think we run to keep defenses honest. I don't think we run with a dominant mentality. I think this game, if you put it all in Ty's hands, I think Ty is more than capable of winning this game and putting this team on his back and taking us there. But it's not ideal. And so what I want to see is us really, I hate to say establish an identity, but I want us to be effective in running the ball. And Jam Miller coming back is essential to that.
You were a guy that played the quarterback position. You won a national championship 10 years ago. You had to go through Athens to get there. We'll talk about that later on in the show. As a matter of fact, that's the last time that Alabama played in Athens, Georgia, and it was a resounding victory over the Dogs. Bama's won 9 out of the last 10. But let's talk Ty Simpson. Your grade for Ty the last 2 games.
Well, I mean, he's been near perfect. I think he's had 4 incompletions. Is that right? No interceptions. The QB rating is off the charts. It's really what we expected. Or you and I have talked about this all offseason. He's a coach's son. He anticipates extremely well. He's got plenty of talent. I mean, we've got guys at our quarterback position is about as loaded as the entire country when you think about the amount of talent in that room. And he may not even be the most talented guy in that room,
right?
But he is the most effective leader and quarterback in that room right now. So, look, he knows what he's doing with the ball. He is extremely comfortable in the pocket. I always have thought highly of him, but I was shocked at the way he maneuvered in that pocket against Wisconsin, got the ball out cleanly and accurately. That's something you can't teach. He's got a lot of poise, and I think he's finally getting into that, or filling the role of, hey, I'm not just running the plays, getting the ball where it needs to be. I'm the leader of this team, and everybody looks at me in that fashion. So I think we're coming along really nicely. And I think Ty is set to finish off a really good year. But, again, I am concerned about the consistency as a whole from this team.
Last year, Alabama beat Georgia. Ryan Williams was the feature of a Daniel Moore print, newlifeart.com, and we appreciate those prints. We love those prints. Bama Tailgate gets you 20% off. That's your discount code, newlifeart.com. Go pick up that print or any of the other great ones. Jay Coker was on one of those back in 2015, and I think that's one of the coolest things you can say about your career is if Daniel Moore paints you into mortality. Hey, I want to tell you guys that the Bama Tailgate Show is brought to you by Pearl River Resort and Casino in Choctaw. Now's a great time to make your picks count at the Timeout Sports Lounge and Sports Book. We appreciate you guys. When we come back, we're going to talk more Alabama and Georgia right after this.
I may not suit up on Saturdays anymore, but I'm still in the game.
Let's roll!
In here, I call the plays, make adjustments, and lay it on the line. Want to feel that fire, that rush? Then you've got to get in the game. I used to say it in the tunnel, and I still say it now. Let's roll.
Let's roll!
Why walk when you can fly? Tap into your inner eagle. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
When you head to the Smoky Mountains, it's only natural to visit Sevierville.
Even we had to check it out.
And we've been here our whole lives.
Experience the adventure of a lifetime.
I'm king of the world!
Even you can get a bird's eye view of the Smokies.
You're going down, Billy. Whoa.
Your Smokies start here.
Touchdown flavor, Gulf Coast style. Whether you're here for the big game or just hungry for a win, Flora-Bama Old River Grill has you covered. Catch every pass, every play, and every moment on our wall of big screens while you enjoy fresh Gulf seafood, legendary burgers, and ice-cold drinks. With waterfront views and game day energy like no other, this is where football meets paradise. Grab your crew, bring your team spirit, and make Flora-Bama Old River Grill your home field advantage this season, where the food, drinks, and football are always a win. Located across from the world-famous Flora-Bama or online at FloraBamaOldRiverGrill.com.
Get your life back when the world's gone crazy. Get your life back, and I don't mean maybe when you know you got to have a friend. You call 900-9000, 'cause Miz wins. And get your life back, baby. Get your life back, baby. Call 900-9000. Stephen Mesrano.
As it gets tour. Saturday, October 4th, Pearl River Resort Silver Star Convention Center. Tickets on sale now at PearlRiverResort.com. More at AaronLewisMusic.com.
I'm American as it gets.
Aaron Lewis and the Stateliners, American as it gets tour.
Barry Buckner for Tuscaloosa Hyundai. When Hyundai introduced America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, it was one of a kind. But you know us, how can we improve on that? Tuscaloosa Hyundai was first in the nation with a 1,000,000-mile warranty on every new Hyundai. When we told customers no charge, they smiled, and you will too. At Tuscaloosa Hyundai, home of the 1,000,000-mile smile.
All right, back out at the Flora-Bama Old River Grill, talking Alabama and Georgia. We're going to do this like we do every week. This is the Bama Tailgate Show, and we appreciate you guys hanging out, as always, as we get ready for this colossal matchup. That's Jake Coker, and I'm Mick Gillispie. Today's show is brought to you by our friends at Mesrano. Mez wins. We got you. Get your life back, right? Stephen Mesrano, great guy. One of the top 10 best attorneys in 2024. He's one of the top 100 national trial lawyers, and he's a friend of ours. He's a guy that we've known for a long time, whether it's personal service, and you need that help in truck accidents, premises liability, product liability, Birmingham, Florence, Tuscaloosa, Montgomery, Huntsville, Gadsden, Mobile. And we're all in all those markets, by the way. Check out Steve Mesrano and know that he's got your back. Now, I talked to Bradley on the way here today from Black Belt Outdoor. They're the ones that put the billboards of Jay Coker and me on around the state, and they're in 13 different counties in the Black Belt. They offer static and digital billboards to meet your needs, and we appreciate them for also being part of what we do on a daily basis. And we're at the best place on earth here at the Flora-Bama. Look at this collector's cup. We both have them. These things are great. Do you have these in your house?
I got a few. I've been here before.
You have?
Yeah.
Well, I love these things. Like, I had one that I put ice in it when I left my house in Fairhope. I went to Pearl River Resort. Took me 3 hours, and there was still ice in there. It's pretty amazing.
That's good stuff.
How does it feel to be back here, though? I mean, like, we're looking at the old river out in front. We got some great folks here hanging. There's some boats going by, and you just get that tropical
starting to drop.
Yeah, it's getting a little cooler, right?
Bit.
Yeah,
it feels like football season. No greater place than to prepare for a good football weekend than right here.
Well, you got your boudin egg rolls that you can get on the football menu, spinach and artichoke bites, buffalo fried, cauliflower, buffalo wings, all that stuff too. So as we talk football, don't be afraid to order because they got an open bar.
I'll be thinking about it.
Yeah, go ahead. All right, Alabama versus Dogs, the rivalry, right? I think Alabama LSU is kind of the big rivalry in the SEC. Things have changed a lot.
Yeah,
you got Texas in there, you got Oklahoma, but these two teams have played for the national championship twice. They've played for the SEC title a bunch of times.
Don't call this a rivalry. This is not a rivalry.
Okay, well, what is it?
Because you got to lose. You have to lose for it to be considered a rivalry. I mean, we're 9-1 in the last 10 matchups. The only time we lost, we had Jamison Williams and John Mechie go down, and that was in the national championship game.
Right.
I mean, Kirby knows they go from mixing up defensive looks to playing man and pressuring Bryce, just because they know all we can do is run the ball. We don't have guys. I mean, look, I'm not talking bad about the receivers back then, but we had a bunch of young guys, and it was kind of a nightmare after those.
Well,
two
no,
went
I
down.
will. Let me take this. Ajay Hall. Well, no, Ajay Hall was on there, and he was talking about he wasn't getting playing time. He started in the 8A game, and then when he got an opportunity, he's trying to catch the ball like this, right? He wasn't ready, and Coach Saban came out afterwards and said, you have to prepare every day like you are getting your opportunity and be ready for it. They weren't ready for it, and that's the only one that Georgia lost. That Alabama lost to Georgia, right? Yep. I mean, so I agree with you. They've won 9 out of 10. Some of those games have been pretty contested, but Alabama's found a way to get it done, including last year.
Yeah, some were contested. Well, I guess, really in the recent past, they have been somewhat contested, but Georgia has not been able to find a way to get it done. And I guarantee you that most of the fans walking in to the stadium in Athens this weekend don't really feel like they're going to win this game.
You think Alabama has the mental edge?
Well, yeah. I mean, we own the Dogs. I mean, there's no other way around it. You go 9-1 over the last 10 games, and it is what it is. I mean, I would feel the same way if we were 1-9.
And I'm going to be a devil's advocate here. Here's the issue. What Alabama is going to show up? The Alabama team that we've seen at home and that played at LSU last year, or is it going to be this Alabama team that we saw against Florida State? Is this going to be the Alabama team that we saw last year at Oklahoma and Michigan? DeBoer's had a tough time getting consistency out of this team, and when the team's been on the road, they haven't been any good. Now, they did play great last year in the first half against Georgia, found a way to win. Georgia's going to – we're going to get into this matchup. They're going to try to establish a run against Alabama. But just from the standpoint of what to expect in this game, do you expect Alabama to be able to go out there and stop the run and to be able to establish a run?
Well, the only way we win this game is by stopping the run,
right?
Or at least getting some 3 and outs, and don't let them just dominate the time of possession battle. You look at 2 weeks ago when Georgia played Tennessee, I think they had the ball for 50 minutes to Tennessee's 25 minutes. They just grind you up and spit you out if you allow them to hold on to the ball. They don't get behind the sticks. They don't make mistakes. They had, I think, 4 penalties against Tennessee. You're not going to be a front runner and beat Georgia because, if you make big plays, it does not affect Georgia. Georgia's going to go back out there and they're going to play their style of football no matter what. And so, look, we hit a few big plays to Ryan Williams in the first half. That means nothing in the long run because they're still going to be there. They're not going to quit. And that's the mentality that Kirby Smart has built at Georgia. Now, I have, make jokes about us owning that rivalry. But the mentality that Georgia has is the old Alabama mentality. And again, you see that here and there. I mean, when I was playing 10 years ago, there was really one team we played that I felt like showed no sign of quit, that championship mentality, and that was Clemson. Felt like that game was never over. Everybody else, we lost to Ole Miss. I still feel like if we had another quarter, you could kind of tell they were fading away.
They got a lot of lucky breaks in that game. Let's be honest.
But Georgia's got that championship mentality. Kirby's built that culture there, and front runners just aren't going to beat them consistently.
Right.
And I want to see that kind of edge and that kind of mentality out of Alabama.
Bama beat Georgia last year, and if you said, hey, give me like a game that describes what life has been like under Kalen DeBoer, I'd say take that Georgia game. First half of the game was the best I've ever seen Alabama's offense look. I mean, do you remember how dynamic they were, ripping down the field, scoring touchdowns on Georgia? Second half of the game, it was the opposite. Didn't make plays. Didn't get Georgia off the field. Now, I know Georgia had a lot of opportunities to go for it on fourth down, right, because they were down so big. And then we made a big play to win the game at the end, right? And I kind of felt like with this, it was like, hey, Alabama under DeBoer needs to find more consistency. And I'm on the DeBoer train. You're on the DeBoer train. We like Kalen DeBoer. I actually love him. I mean, he's a great guy. How do they get there?
Well, to me, it's like Coach Saban used to always preach: is you don't let the circumstances determine your play or your performance.
Right.
You don't look at the scoreboard, you don't look at who you're playing, you listen to the play call, and you do exactly what you've been taught to do over and over and over and over again. And again, when you start, I use the front runner term.
Yeah.
Last week, ULM, that was cool and that was great, but at the same time, that's what we were supposed to do. And there's nothing to really celebrate. You got the win. You did what you were supposed to do. Let's move on to this week.
Right.
And you make a big play against Georgia. Great. Get together, get ready for the next series and do it again, no matter what the score is. You can never be comfortable. You can never relax with success. And, that's the mentality that I want to see out of this Alabama team.
Hey, if that's the way that these guys perform, then I think we're in great shape moving forward. Now, a couple things I want to tell you guys is we've got gear. And look at this. And I know you're not a man of style, but I am. When Barron gets here, I'm going to hook him up too. But this is actually a Bama Tailgate Hawaiian shirt.
Barron will sport that.
Yeah,
along with a bandana.
Yeah. And he'll look wonderful doing that. We got hats. Anyway, hit that QR code there for you guys watching on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel, or maybe you're hanging out with us on Twitter right now or on Facebook. But anyway, hit that QR code and hit us on the Mick Nation Avenue D. I got stuff to give away. We gave away tickets to Wisconsin, Bama, but we got swag that we're giving away right now, cash prizes. It's all free, and that's where we're going to connect right now as we move forward. Now, the other thing I want to say to you guys is that we're brought to you by Yingling Lager. He's got a Yingling Lager right now in his Flora-Bama cup. It'll stay cold for him. I probably need to pour one in my cup, but they handed me one of these key lime coladas. We're hanging out. But Yingling Lager is America's oldest brewery. Very proud, patriotic beer. And also, our friend Cheryl Yingling went to Alabama, and she puts a little bit of crimson love in each one of those green bottles. All right, we're going to talk more Bama and Georgia right here on the Bama Tailgate Show after this.
Well, howdy, fans, and welcome to Week 5 of Leonard's Losers. The little smart pill machine turned on the afterburners last week, finishing 28-4. Let's see if she can continue those remarkable numbers as we welcome the colorful fall season where college football takes a front seat in the sports world. USC versus Illinois. Lincoln Riley brings his Trojans to Champaign for this nooner homecoming Big Ten matchup against the Fighting Illini. The Left Coast boys are 4-0, defeating Michigan State last week, while the home team is 3-1, losing to Indiana last Saturday. The homecoming parade is Friday night, featuring REO Speedwagon as the Grand Marshal. Don't think the Illini will hit the field singing the blockbuster Keep on Loving You. Leonard's loser, USC. Notre Dame versus Arkansas. The Pope's pupils journey to Fayetteville for this first-time matchup ever on ABC. The Irish have 2 losses in this early season to Miami and Texas A&M, while the Hogs are 2-2. 7 of the Auerbach's next 8 opponents are against ranked teams, and they best hunker down. Last year's national championship runner-up has stumbled early, but look for Marcus Freeman to make a strong run starting Saturday. Leonard's loser, Arkansas. Oregon versus Penn State. It's the number 6 Ducks waddling to Happy Valley to face off with the number 3 Nittany Lions. Through 4 weeks, Donald has one of the most productive offenses in the country, while the Felines are rested from a bye week. This marquee tussle will have major implications down the road. It's a slobber knocker from the get-go. ESPN College Game Day will add to the festivities. Leonard's loser in a mild upset, Penn State. Alabama versus Georgia. This primetime SEC marquee matchup is required viewing Saturday night. The Red Clay Hounds at 3-0 are riding the number 3 pony, and the Red Efforts are 2-1 on the 16 horse. Both teams are coming off a bye week and ready for this rip snorter. It will be the Tide's first trip between the hedges since 2015, when they defeated the Dogs 38-10. ABC has all the action Saturday starting at 7:30. The Tide will be high, but UGA has an excellent backstroke. Leonard's loser in a close one, Alabama. Tennessee versus Mississippi State. The Big Orange heads to Starkville for their first SEC road game. The Bull Puppies are undefeated, while the Vols lost a heartbreaker in overtime to Georgia 2 weeks ago. Tennessee quarterback Joey Aguilar has been impressive thus far and should only get better. This one will come down to who has the best canine, and Smokey is odds-on better than Bully. Leonard's loser, Mississippi State. LSU versus Ole Miss. The boys from the Bayou head to Oxford looking for Johnny Reb in an SEC battle of undefeateds. Reb head mentor Lane Kiffin is upset with an afternoon game at home, declaring it should have been a night game. Tiger quarterback Garrett Nussmeier has been a solid signal caller, and the Reb secondary best hunker down. Leonard's loser, LSU.
Fans, we're going to take a break right now and hear a word from Sponsorsville. We'll be right back with more Leonard's Losers.
All right, roll tide, everybody, and welcome back to the show. And thank you for hanging with us here from Old River Grill at the Flora-Bama, which is just a fantastic place. This segment is brought to you by our friends at Tuscaloosa Hyundai. Whether it's the Elantra or the Sonata or an SUV, go check out the fantastic deals at Tuscaloosa Hyundai. Our guy, Barry Buckner. We love Barry Buckner. You guys looking for a car and you want to go to somebody that you can count on and you can trust, it's Barry. We can't wait to have Barry on the show, but he's been part of what we do here since the very beginning, and absolutely love Barry. Now, there was a little bit of feedback. That was because we're trying to get the Flora-Bama cam on. I want to be able to show everybody what it looks like outside here. It had like a little bit of feedback, but you know, are you back?
I think so. You tell me.
You got to go around the room and say hi to everybody. Hey, show's brought to you by Tuscaloosa Hyundai and Yingling Lager, and we appreciate you guys for hanging out. All right, let's talk Alabama and Georgia. It's a 6:30 kickoff at Stanford Stadium in Athens. I've had some great times there. I was there the last time you played there. I was there for the blackout. Fantastic city. I think Athens, and I'm not counting Tuscaloosa in this because I know I'm biased, but I think Athens is the best city to go hang out at in the SEC. I mean, the bars, the social scene, it's cool.
Well, I think it's a dumpster fire, but let's move on to the football
game. Well, thank you. All right. With that said, and that's why we don't bring the best commentary in football for no reason here.
Yeah, that's right.
Jamarian Latham got hurt in practice. Why are all these guys getting hurt in practice? We lost Jam Miller for a while in practice, Tim Keenan in practice, Jeremiah Beeman in practice, now Jamarian Latham in practice. Why are we getting so many of our star players hurt in practice?
Man, I don't know. It sounds like we're snake bit almost to a certain point. I know, again, when I was there, we practiced, had to practice harder or at least as hard as anybody in the country. And one of the things Coach Saban was really big on, it was a real good way to get chewed out was falling on the ground or tackling somebody to the ground, putting those big guys in awkward positions. Again, I'm not at practice. I haven't seen what's going on. But I think it's one of those situations where you can't point the finger at anything. It's just a tough break. It's been a really weird year in terms of practice time injuries.
And that's something that's got to stop for Alabama. I mean, if you get hurt on the field during a game, you don't feel as bad. But, I mean, it stinks. But now, I mean, when you're losing some of your best players during practice, I think to me it shows that these guys are trying really hard to bring intensity to practice, right? But how do you avoid being hurt?
You can't. Practice? I mean, look, man, so you got to practice. You got to practice and get prepared for these games. And these practices need to be tough. Guys got to get after it. If you're gonna prepare to stop Georgia from running the ball, you got to be pretty physical. And again, I hate to see it. Sometimes seasons just go this way. And I don't know what's the severity of the injury. Do you know?
I mean, he's out. And it was a neck injury, and they took him to the hospital.
Yeah.
So that tells me it's a pretty severe injury.
Yeah.
And you never want to see anybody get a neck injury. That those are bad because it's your spinal cord or gets injured, and it's hard to come back from that.
Yeah. I mean, I've never hurt my spine. I wouldn't know how to comment on that, but I mean, you definitely hate to see it, and especially at position groups we're kind of already thin at.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about this game, Alabama and Georgia. I think that Alabama needs to jump on Georgia early offensively. I don't like Alabama's chances to come from behind. I think that the way that they win, the formula to me, is that they take care of get the lead early and make Georgia one-dimensional because Alabama's had trouble running the football, and their strength is throwing the football. So to me, if they're the team that has to catch up to you, it's going to help this team a lot successfully wise.
Yeah, I don't see Georgia being able to come. They're not going to be the same Georgia as last year, where you have Carson Beck who can deal the football and make dynamic throws and put them in the right position. I think Gunnar Stockton is more than capable, but this is really his first year starting. And when you watch him play, or at least what I take of it, I think he's very capable, but when you get him into rough positions where he's getting off his first reads and you're making him move his feet, he's not as accurate. And so, again, as long as we're making them throw the football on second and third downs, they're stuck in that 2nd and 9, 2nd and 8 range. I think we're okay. But once they start getting in front of the 6, those 2nd and 5s, and they can really call anything they want to with comfort, that's when we're going to be in a pretty tough spot.
I've had some guys that played defense at Alabama and went to the NFL tell me that they're not a big fan of the swarm defense. The swarm defense has been pretty good the last 2 games. Can the swarm defense stop Georgia's offense?
Well, if you're playing the swarm defense, you actually have to swarm pretty quickly, get downhill and get to the football. You know?
Good point. So if you're standing there and you're not swarming, you're probably not going to make the tackle.
Hey, we've been swarming at a pretty high level the last 2 weeks, but
where was the swarm in Tallahassee?
I guess it was too hot. I don't know, but I wasn't seeing too much swarm on week 1.
The funny thing is that they really have been swarming the last couple of weeks.
I will tell you, I after watching that first week, Bray Hubbard has been all around
leading
the
the swarm,
and he's been mean when he got there.
Hey, we know him from here. Remember, we were hanging out with Bray when he out threw you for the mullet this year.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me.
Well, look, think about my mullet, Tom. I mean, I can't even really talk smack because you were so beatable.
Yeah, they wouldn't even let you throw again.
I didn't want to. I almost killed somebody.
Yeah.
like when the fish exploded, she looked so nice in all her good clothes. And yeah,
I felt like I was in a dangerous spot and I was standing behind you.
Yeah, the funny thing was that the fear in your eyes when you knew that, like, if I just would have released the fish, I could have beat you. But you know what? I looked like Bama in Tallahassee. I didn't swarm very much.
If I had lost to the guy in the Hawaiian shirt, I think
you don't know style.
I think our careers would have parted
Steve
ways.
Powers immediately was like, "Okay, I wear XL," and I'm like, "All right, I got you. I'm gonna take care." I'm trying to teach him, Jen, and we'll have Jen Parnell on here in a second. You know, these young guys had to look cool and relaxed at the beach. But, you know, he's the kind of guy that would wear a tuxedo to the beach.
Me?
All right, maybe not. All right, listen. The last question before we bring Jen on for the next segment. Bigger game for Kirby Smart, 1-6 against Alabama, or Alabama, 2-1 on the season. They lose their 2-2, and all of a sudden you start feeling like your playoff hopes are
bigger
going downhill.
game for Alabama for sure. You know, especially in this situation, I would say if Coach Saban was still here, it'd be a bigger game for Georgia. But you know, I think I trust and believe in Kalen DeBoer, Kane Womack, Ryan Grubb. I think they're going to do really big things at Alabama. But I think in their minds, this is kind of their game. This is where they prove Alabama's here to stay, and we're a playoff-bound team. You lose this game, and the outlook on the rest of the season is pretty dire. So I think you got to come out here and make a statement, especially defensively.
This is the Bama Tailgate Show brought to you by Yuengling Lager. Yuengling is a 6th-generation company, and Cheryl Yuengling, who's part of the company's ownership, is a proud Alabama grad. And she puts a little bit of crimson love in each one of those green bottles. You can get it here at the Flora-Bama. You can get it on tap soon at Innisfree, where we're at when Bama's at home, and you can get it anywhere in the state of Alabama and surrounding states. Try Yuengling Flight, too. That's their answer to Ultra. So check them out. When we come back, our friend Jen Parnell is going to join us, and we got Gaten and Grillin right here on the Bama Tailgate Show.
I may not suit up on Saturdays anymore, but I'm still in the game.
Let's roll.
In here, I call the plays, make adjustments, and lay it on the line. Want to feel that fire, that rush? Then you've got to get in the game. I used to say it in the tunnel, and I still say it now. Let's roll.
Let's roll.
This isn't just a beer. It's a lager. A medium-bodied, amber-colored, one-of-a-kind beer. Made from those bold enough to brew it, for those bold enough to drink it. Elevate your taste. Yuengling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
Barry Buckner for Tuscaloosa Hyundai. When Hyundai introduced America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, it was one of a kind. But you know us, how can we improve on that? Tuscaloosa Hyundai was first in the nation with a 1,000,000-mile warranty on every new Hyundai. When we told customers no charge, they smiled, and you will too. At Tuscaloosa Hyundai, home of the 1,000,000-mile smile.
This isn't just a place, it's a pulse and a rhythm, where game day is more than a tradition. Heart-pounding yet? It's where the flavors are bold and the portions are generous. Mouth-watering yet? Art, music, and culture paint the city's soul. Creativity flowing yet? So whether you come for the thrill, the taste, the beauty, or the tradition, you'll stay for the Tusca life. Ready to feel it? This is Tuscaloosa. Live the Tusca life.
Get your life back when the world's gone crazy. Get your life back, and I don't mean maybe when you know you got to have a friend. You call 900-9000, 'cause Liz wins. And get your life back, baby. Get your life back, baby. Call 900-9000. Stephen Mesrano.
When you're ready to double down, dive in, drive for a show, and not look back. Roll into Pearl River Resort. From tee times to table games, water slides by day, slots by night. Savor the flavors, feel the fun, win big. Let's roll into Pearl River Resort. Must be 21 or older to play. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Here comes Tracy Lawrence, live for one night only. Saturday, November 15th, Pearl River Resort Silver Star Convention Center. All the hits, all night long, with CMA and ACM award winner Tracy Lawrence.
Make it look just the way I planned.
Tickets on sale now at pearlriverresort.com.
When you head to the Smoky Mountains, it's only natural to visit Sevierville.
Even we had to check it out.
And we've been here our whole lives.
Experience the adventure of a lifetime.
I'm king of the world.
Even you can get a bird's eye view of the Smokies.
You're going down, Billy. Whoa.
Your Smokies start here.
All right, roll tide, everybody, and welcome back to Old River Grill here at the Flora-Bama on the line between Florida and Alabama in our home. Our friend Jen Parnell joins us. Yeah, it makes sense, but, you know, someone out there is going, okay, Flora-Bama, where is that place? The world-famous Flora-Bama. Look at this guy. Got himself a beer.
Empty-handed on the
I know.
other.
I saw this put down. I see the Yingling, but I don't see the key lime colada.
That's what you get for those style comments earlier.
All right, let me put you both in there.
Oh, look at this service.
Oh, there you go. Look at that. It's beautiful.
Thank
too.
you.
All right, well, let's talk about Alabama and Georgia, but first let's talk about the Flora-Bama. Great to see you, Jen.
You too.
And thank you for having us back.
Always. You're always welcome.
And I love the game day menus. And
Aren't
you
they
guys
so
even
good?
do football in the main Flora-Bama now on Saturday.
Tailgate in the tent. So we got lots of options. If you want to come watch sports, we got everything for you.
Yeah. So how did that start?
What, this showing football?
Yeah.
Well, I think football is extremely popular in the South, and we have lots of people visiting from outside the South too that like sports. And so Flora-Bama is a place where we have all walks of life and a little bit of something for everybody. So why not play some football for people to come and enjoy?
Yeah.
You don't want you cooped up in your house. Come enjoy it over here. You got waterfront, we got drinks, we got food, we got live music. It's the perfect spot.
Yeah. I tell you what, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this, but I'm going to the Sphere next week to see the Eagles.
That's gonna be amazing. We
It's
went
gonna
this
be-
year to see a show, not the Eagles.
Who'd you guys see?
We went to go see Kenny.
Oh, you went right, and I heard that Kenny's gonna, maybe be back again. Is that true? I mean, is that something that we could? I don't know, but
Back at the Sphere or back at
back at the
Flora-Bama?
Sphere. Maybe.
We'll find out.
What's cool about it though is what's really cool is that you got Jimmy Buffett was kind of known and wrote Bama Breeze about here, and then said that when he went on tour, we'd have it up there. Kenny shows pictures of here.
Yeah.
When he's doing his thing, he
It
even
has a
had
song
it right. He
called
even had the
Flora-Bama.
Flora-Bama song, and he performed out on the beach.
Yeah. It was so fun.
And I hear he shows up kind of on surprise occasions around here.
Well, you kind of got to be unsurprised, right? If we let you know that he was coming,
Well, I'd appreciate if the Bama tailgate crew was notified next time.
You know what? I got you covered.
She will tell you sometimes. Like Riley Green plays here a lot. Riley Green's awesome.
Oh, he's the best.
Yeah.
He's down to earth, cool dude.
Yeah. Post Malone.
We love Post Malone.
I know. I was doing this thing where we're one of our partners is Kelshi.com, right? And it's it's this basically it's like gambling, but it's more like a stock exchange thing. Do you know this?
It's legal?
It's legal in all 50 states, right? Better odds, no limits, live trading, all the stuff that they do. They do like football and everything, and that's kind of where we're at. But one of the things on there that you can talk about is culture. And I saw where Post Malone, they were like, will Post Malone's album be number one? And I'm like, well, Post Malone came here and tipped somebody like $20,000. I mean, that's
everything you hear about him is true. He's so nice and he's the most down to earth guy. And he was fantastic to our team. And he came back more than one day in a row. I have nothing but good things to say about him.
He's one of the only, I don't know, celebrities you see and hear about. Well, I guess that you never hear anything bad about.
Yeah. And, I feel like he could be a little rough around the edges, but he's not. He's just awesome. He's so nice.
Yeah.
And people love him. And there's he's on another level, right? When you think about like social following, I mean, just his Instagram, I think is like 26 million. I mean, that's pretty large, right? So you would think that somebody like that would come into a place where there's a lot of people and kind of be like, no, he's in the mix with everybody. How you doing?
I saw the pictures of him performing on the main stage. It was great.
Yeah, he loved
looked like he was just one in the crowd.
Totally.
Yeah. Well, according to Kelshi, 13% chance that the album's number one. So of the 15, almost $16,000 that have been put down on this, 87 cents to the dollar has been in the no category. And I know you're going to disagree with that.
I would completely disagree, but I'm not in the betting business like you. But
don't mind it too much. So since you've been here, who's the biggest celeb that has slid in here? I know somebody was telling me that Eric Church came in disguise one time. Was that you that told me that?
Yeah, he wasn't in disguise. We just made sure. So him and his wife came. They have some friends that live down here. So during the day before he was about to go on, he came and he was just hanging out in the booth. But
yeah,
he's awesome. He's very down to earth and normal. He looks normal though. If you didn't see him with his sunglasses on, I bet y'all wouldn't recognize him.
Yeah, right. That's like Dolly Parton when she's at
pretty
Sevierville.
No,
I was about to say,
you think that? Yeah, look, I'm not going to argue. I love Dolly. I love Dolly. Islands in the Stream's one of the great songs of all time. But no, I mean, they say that she doesn't have makeup and she wears wigs now. I guess so it's like you don't notice her.
That's the way to do it, though. If you're going to live in that limelight, like I want to be able to blend in. You don't want to take on all the other stuff. So how nice to just be like, oh, I can kind of be another person.
Yeah, you can be somebody else. So would you say? Well, who would you say is the biggest star?
God, I don't know. There's been so many.
Did you get to meet Jimmy Buffett when he was still alive?
I did.
Did you?
Yeah, he's as nice as
nice guy.
Everything you would expect. Yeah.
What about Stabler? You probably weren't.
Snake.
You probably weren't here.
Well, no, I didn't meet him, but his daughters are from down here.
So you weren't here when Snake had the seat.
No, I wasn't.
Coker wants to kind of be the next Snake.
Let's do it. We're gonna have
Let's
to work
get him
on
his
your
own
throw.
snake.
We're gonna have to work on your throw.
As much as I love the snake, I don't think I could hang in there with the snake.
Oh, come on! What'd you say? There's still a lot of
a lot of dark left.
Yeah, you're on the up right now. You're doing that.
I mean, like Snake's like legendary partier, right? Like he owned this whole area. I worked with him at Crimson Tide Sports Network. What a great guy. Cheryl Yingling from Yingling Lager. She was in the old industry, and he had an apartment above it. He would just come down and hang out with people. Yeah, right. He didn't have to drive.
Yeah, it's safety oriented.
Yeah, right. Like, one of those things you probably don't want to do. But yeah, like, so when you talk about like the Flora-Bama and you share the experience on a Saturday on a game day, Alabama playing Georgia, you guys will be playing that. Like, what would you tell people about this? Like, how would you say, hey, like, this is a great place to come? Why?
Well, for me, I'm a boat person, right? So this area is the best for boating. So I'm like, look, if you can get out on a boat, then you can come pull up. You can have some food, watch the game, have some drinks. If you're not, that's fine. Come by car. So the environment looking out at the water is, there's not a lot of places that have that to enjoy like a game day experience.
Right.
So to me, that's number one. And then across the street at the Flora-Bama, we have options there. So tailgate in the tent. Like, we don't want to go hang out at the Flora-Bama during the day. When the commercial's on, like, you can go listen to live music in the other room. Come back. So you kind of have the best of everything when you're on the Flora-Bama property watching football.
Nice. All right, let's talk about this game. Alabama versus Georgia. From your perspective, who has more fans that come to the Flora-Bama? Alabama or Georgia?
I would say Alabama fans for sure.
Yeah, good. That means Alabama will win.
Oh, that's the measuring. You can take bets on that.
What's funny is you walk through and people just like scribble stuff on the walls here.
Oh, everything. It's hilarious. The stuff that you read, I always like I'll be pacing on my phone and I'm looking and you find hilarious stuff. I'm like, I should write that down. All the funny things you see. 'Cause you want to go back and find it and you forget.
Have you ever written anything on the walls here?
Have I? No. But I, kind of like y'all, there's a lot of things I wish I could remember that I've seen on these walls.
For sure.
Yeah, I've seen lots of stuff on these walls. Did that work?
Yeah.
So he's giving me the sign. That's why I was telling her the next step is to have Richie here. He's like giving me the sign. Like, I'm just trying to talk.
Y'all been talking and I've been piecing together this conversation.
You did good though.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
They did fantastic. Who besides Alabama fans are the most represented fans at the Flora-Bama?
Probably LSU fans. I feel like
unfortunately I would agree.
I think so too.
In love with the Flora-Bama, which we love.
Yeah.
Do you? Do you love that?
I love some Cajun people now. They're so fun. I've only had good experience.
Y'all must sell a lot of corn dogs here, huh?
I think we sell corn dogs.
Oysters, right?
Yeah.
The oysters. What's so cool is that how this
We do
place.
have some boudin egg rolls on the football.
I
menu.
saw that. We were
Yeah.
talking about that earlier on there, and I love how the draft beer has Yingling right at the top. That's you guys are doing the right thing. The wings. I came in here one time and did the all-you-can-eat wings.
How many did you eat?
I did 3 things of them, and I was stuffed.
I hope so.
Yeah, what I did was, and
Was
this
that
is
3 12 pieces?
strategery.
Yeah, there you
As
go.
you're- as
I was about to say those
you're-
buttons look a little tight. They look a little tight.
Strategery. I didn't eat that day, and I came in, and then like by the 3rd batch of wings, I was like, man, I don't think I can look at any more wings,
Or anybody.
Yeah, like I sat at the bar in here, but I love this. You get 3 different experiences: the yacht club, Old River Grill, and then the main Flora-Bama. And then don't forget about Coastal, which is where we're going to be
Absolutely.
when Bama plays South Carolina for that show too.
I was just there earlier. It was beautiful. It's the best view in town.
Well, Jen, tell everybody about the Flora-Bama, and then we're going to hit Gating and Grillin with Carla Cook Lewis and, of course, Kevin Sport.
Nice. Well, I mean, look, you can always go to Flora-Bama.com, but we're a beachfront honky tonk bar. We've got live music 365 days a year. We have 3,500 different musicians that come through here, which is amazing. So anytime you're looking for live music, we're certainly the home of that. For football season, like we mentioned, Old River Grill, this is your waterfront sports headquarters. So we've got 30 plus TVs. We've got speakers that go on your table. So if you really are interested in the sound too, we can make sure you can hear it. Wonderful football menu. Mick mentioned the yacht club next door. If you're not into football, we have live music going on over there in the normal beach environment, and then the Flora-Bama. So we have plenty of events all throughout the year. We couldn't even list all the events that we have, but lots coming up in October. And Flora-Bama.com is where you can go to see all that.
Right, and we got the Flora-Bama cam operating right now. People are looking at Old River Grill, and some people out there munching down, and some seagulls, and some water, and blue skies, all of that stuff. Hey, coming up next, Gating and Grillin', second hour, we got Chris Lowe, we got Kenny White, and Baron Huber's supposed to swing by. We're at Old River Grill here at the Flora-Bama. Guys, enjoy the Gating and Grillin' segment.
Welcome to Game Day Grub, where Southern flavor meets Saturday football.
Hey, everybody, I'm Carl Lewis, North Carolina Barbecue Pitmaster.
I'm Kevin Sport, and I love a good tailgate. Together, we're on a mission to celebrate everything that makes game day sacred in the South. Whether you're posted up at the stadium or you fired up your grill back home.
We got the tips, tricks, and recipes to help you bring the heat this football season.
Okay, Petey, what we got?
Pity? Dude, I'm a pitmaster, not pity. Today, we're turning up the fire with 2 recipes that's bold, spicy, and disciplined. Man, we're talking jalapeno laced, rub-coated, sauce-glazed grilled chicken wing. Man, as we call them, Saban Sizzlers.
I love it.
And full throttle flappers, baby.
That's what I call a touchdown.
All right, there's 3 parts to a wing. That's the flapper. We're going to get rid of it. And it makes like a little heart.
Oh, cool. All right.
You want to get right behind that knuckle, cut it off.
So how many pounds are we dealing with, man?
We're running about 3 pounds today of each. We'll get half of them cut, and then the other half are going to be seasoned up with John Boy and Billy chicken rub. The other half is going into jalapeno pickle juice. That pickled jalapeno juice gives a nice southern twang.
That's a southern tradition.
It sure is. And it's going to put a number on these wings, man. Because I'm going to put this under refrigeration for about 4 hours. We're going to dice up some jalapenos here in just a second.
Okay.
And they're going to sit on top on the Saban scissors.
Even Saban would be proud.
I hope so. John Boy Billy chicken rub. You want to cook skin up.
Gotcha. Some love on that.
We're going to let these rest for 30 minutes, but the pro tip is to let them rest overnight. We're going to cut up these jalapenos. I got a particular way, dude, I like to cut these, so I'm going to show you,
All right,
and you
show
take
me.
it from there.
All right, cool. Show me. One side on. So what's so particular about the cut?
That's the way they sit on the wings, because when they're cooking, I don't want the jalapeno to cook away. I want it to cook down, but not completely away. Got that?
I got it.
Don't cut your finger.
No, I don't want to do that.
What you said.
How do you know how long to marinate these things? I mean, you just...
4 hours is perfect.
Okay.
4 hours is perfect for me.
Okay.
And it's going to be for you.
Pretty good?
Yeah, just pat them down dry.
Just pat them down?
If they're wet, you won't get a crispy wing.
See, if you weren't here, I'd be lost.
You got to turn them the same damn way.
I mean, is that the OCD coming
Yeah.
out? That doesn't have anything to do with the flavor. It's just you.
I'm going to show you a little something. Can I show you a little something?
Yeah, will you please do? Because I feel like I'm struggling with the...
Get up here.
I'll see there.
Get up here and
Now you're
show.
showing off.
There you go. And the higher you get, the more gracefully it'll fall.
Oh, yeah.
If you're right down on it, it's going to hit one spot. You ready, House?
I'm ready.
Let's take these to the cook shack.
What temperature are we talking about here?
350, 375. And cooking at a hotter temperature like that, you get the crispiest skin up on this chicken. And I'm going to hit them with the John Boy and Billy hot and spicy, and we'll be ready to serve them up.
Let's roll.
See those peppers?
I see
How they
them.
wheeled it down?
I see it.
And they've been kissed by that smoke.
Yes,
Dude.
sure has. Sure has.
That one a little
yeah.
heavy.
Oh, yeah. These are Saban.
These are Saban Sizzlers.
They're not going to last long.
That's what we're talking about, man.
That's right. All right. Ready to roll. Here we got the marinade and the pickle. We got the full throttle flappers.
Jalapeno pickle juice.
Jalapeno pickle juice.
Pickled jalapenos.
Pickled jalapenos.
All right, let's get these people fed. You ready?
Let's go, Hoss. Yeah. If you like this one, stick around. We got more smoky, spicy, tailgate tested treats coming your way. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe to Gating and Grillin on all the socials for all the flavor, fire, and tailgate tips you can handle. And don't forget, the party doesn't stop. Full episodes of Gating and Grillin drop after the season ends.
Auburn versus Texas A&M. The War Eagles head to College Station for a Saturday afternoon clash with an Aggie on ESPN. The Tigers suffered their first loss to number 10 Oklahoma last week in a game marred by a no call when a Sooner wide receiver appeared to exit the field but stayed and caught a TD pass. The SEC ruled this week the TD should not have counted. Auburn lost 24-17. The Aggies are coming off a bye week, and feline mentor Hugh Freeze best designate an assistant coach to keep track of the location of the 12th man. Leonard's loser, Auburn. Georgia Tech versus Wake Forest. The Yellow Jackets crank up the Ramblin' Rick and head to Winston-Salem for an ACC nooner matchup against the Demon Deacons. The Jackets are off to an impressive 4-0 start and ranked 16th, while the Preachers are 2-1. The visitors are a 2-touchdown favorite and should be able to set the Ramblin' Wreck on cruise control. Leonard's loser, Wake Forest. Indiana versus Iowa. The number 11 4-0 Hoosiers travel to Iowa City, where they haven't won since 2007 and are 1-8 against the Hawkeyes since 2008. The spread opened with the Hoosiers a 2.5-point favorite and quickly moved 5 points to 7.5. Sometimes the boys in Vegas know something the bettors don't. Leonard's loser, Iowa. Utah versus West Virginia. It's a Morgantown matinee with this Big 12 matchup on Fox. The Utes were 3-0 before losing by 24 to Texas Tech last week. The Mountain Men are 2-2 and a 10-point home dog. They need more than that to have a chance in this one. Leonard's loser, West Virginia. Baylor versus Oklahoma State. The Cowboys have lost 11 out of the last 15, and longtime coach Mike Gundy was fired this week. He had been in Stillwater for 21 years and had some stellar seasons, but unfortunately the program has suffered the last 2. It's hard to predict what type of atmosphere the Bears will find on Saturday in Stillwater. Leonard's loser, Oklahoma State. BYU versus Colorado. The Mormons load up the wagons and head to Boulder to face Neon Deion and the Buffaloes. This one is a 10:15 Eastern Time kickoff on ESPN. Deion is one of the highest-paid coaches in the FBS, making an average of $11 million a year through 2029, but his 2-2 Buffs and portal transfers from Tennessee and Liberty quarterback Caden Salter have underperformed. The Cougars handily won the last outing between these two in last year's Alamo Bowl. The Cats ranked 7th in rushing and 1st on defense, holding opponents to a paltry average of 5 points per game. Deion best suit up, or the Buffaloes are going to get snared in an ugly trap. Leonard's loser, Colorado. Well, fans, that does it for Week 5. Hard to believe 1/3 of the season is behind us. Even harder to believe that as of this weekend, there are 30 D1 schools undefeated. Interesting to see how many are going to drop off the list this weekend. Fall is upon us, and already my wife is dreading raking all those leaves. And remember, fans, if you can't wear a smile, wear a white hat so we can tell you from the bad guys. Get me out of here, Percy.
The original Bama Football Tailgate Show is on the air. Alabama football is rolling, and we've got you covered with a breakdown of the game matchup, an SEC preview, and all the fun of an afternoon on the quad. With national championship winning quarterback Jake Coker and CoverCrimson.com host Mick Gillispie. The Bama Football Tailgate Show is presented by Pearl River Resort Casino and Hotel in Choctaw, Mississippi. Let's play! Featuring the Sportsbook at the Timeout Lounge, Dancing Rabbit Golf Course. Also brought to you by Tuscaloosa Hyundai. New thinking, new possibilities. Genesis of Tuscaloosa. Luxury with a national championship service department. Yingling Lager. Yingling, America's oldest brewery. The only beer you need at a Bama tailgate party. The Flora-Bama world-famous beach bar and lounge in Orange Beach. Sevierville, your Smokies start here. NewLifeArt.com, publisher of Fine Art Editions by Daniel A. Moore. Use the code Bama Tailgate for amazing deals at NewLifeArt.com.
And also brought to you by Visit Tuscaloosa, where tradition meets adventure. Alabama personal injury lawyer Steve Mesrano. Mesrano wins, we got you.
Now the host of the original Bama Tailgate Show, here's Mick Gillispie.
Back to the Bama Tailgate Show, Alabama and Georgia. We're previewing it right now, and we appreciate all of you guys for hanging out. Thank you to everyone here at Old River Grill, where the Flora-Bama allows you to roll your boat right up to the shores and come in and hang out from the old riverside of the beach. And then obviously one of the great places in the South and the best world famous beach bar, the Flora-Bama, right across the street. But we appreciate all those guys. Time to talk to Chris Lowe. I'm Mick Gillispie. Thanks for hanging out with us here on the Bama Tailgate Show. This segment is brought to you by Sevierville. Visit Sevierville. You got to get to those Smoky Mountains. Now's the time of year to do that. Smoky Mountain Harvest Festival is underway. It goes from September 19th to the end of the month, October 31st. You're talking about creative fall displays throughout Sevierville and fall-themed events, as well as brilliant fall colors in the trees. Peak leaf viewing is typically mid-October through mid-November. Learn more at visitsevierville.com/fall. And a guy that spends his time in that area is our friend Chris Lowe from On3, covers the SEC and college football. I think he's the best in the business. It's always great to see you, Chris. We got a huge matchup this week. Alabama in Athens to play Georgia, but it's not where College Game Day is. Are they telling us something?
Who knows, man? I quit guessing a long time ago where they were going to go and why, and there's all sorts of factors, but I digress. We won't get into all that, but it's this is still, to me, Bama Georgia is the game that is easily the most impactful in the SEC. I think when you look at Bama having one loss, you could say it's maybe the most impactful in college football, because it's hard for me to see Alabama losing this game, Mick, and leaving September with 2 losses and clawing its way back into the playoff.
Well, that's the problem for Alabama. 33 straight wins in Athens for Georgia. Bama's won the last few times it's been there. They've been there, but you're talking about Nick Saban teams, 2008, obviously the famous blackout game. That was Julio Jones, John Parker Wilson, and then 2015. That was Derrick Henry and our friend Jake Coker getting it done in a game where the rains came down heavily. And then these teams have played high stakes SEC national championship games multiple times. Last year in Tuscaloosa, Bama blew them out in the first half. Georgia won the second half. And then obviously Ryan Williams with the big play. This one's circled on the calendar for the Dogs. But if Alabama loses, their backs are up against the wall as far as having chips if they lose another game after that.
Good news is this. This is going to be the healthiest, best version of Alabama we've seen all year, Mick. With Jam Miller back, Tim Keenan's going to be back. I think if you had told Kalen before the season who are the 4 or 5 players you could least ill afford to lose, those 2 would have been in that group. I'm not making excuses. There's no excuse the way Alabama played in that first game, but they are a lot better football team with these 2 guys. Miller gives them some explosiveness in the backfield, running the football, and certainly Keenan is just, he's just their enforcer there in the middle of that defensive line, and a good pass rusher. He's a good interior pass rusher, which they're going to need to get some push on Stockton in this game. So I think that's the best news for Bama, is this is the best version. Should be the best version of Bama we've seen. They're rested. They haven't had to play in 2 weeks. Same goes for Georgia. I get that. So there's no reason that we should not see Alabama play its best football in this game. And I think we will. I think this is a team that was legitimately embarrassed. I think they were angry the way they played that first week. They know they're a better football team. Now, I could tell you, and we've the 2 of us have talked off air, when I went and watched them practice the week before game week, I felt like they had a chance to be as good as any team in the country. And just because they lost, I'm not just completely backing away from that. Sometimes those type games happen early. We've seen that happen. But here's the test now. Here's the chance to say, all right, what happened in Tallahassee was a little bit of a mirage. This is who we are. Yeah, this is a hard place to play. No one's won here in 33 straight games. But we are a legitimate a legitimate championship contender, and they need to play that way. I think it's got intrigue written all over this game, because you're right. Kirby, when does Kirby ever lose 2 straight times to the same team? He doesn't do it. He's been really good after bye weeks in the regular season. This is a Georgia team that's been tested on the road. They were able to sneak out of Neyland Stadium with a win. Not Georgia that we remember from 21 and 22 on defense but they're still good on defense. But I think you saw in that game, and I was at that game, if you can protect your quarterback and you've got guys down the field who can separate and make plays, which Bama does, I think you can take advantage of this Georgia secondary.
Bama playing Georgia for the 75th time in school history, right? 44, 26, and 4. Bama 15 and 10 in Athens. And this was one before they split the conferences. That used to be a really big game, Alabama and Georgia. And what I mean by that is when they went to east to west, Georgia went to the east and Bama went to the west. They're changing the formatting of the scheduling again starting next year. But I like the fact that we're going to see this game more often. They're saying, hey, you're not going to go your 4 years, which is something Saban always wanted, was you play everybody in your career. So we'll see Georgia again next year, and then, obviously maybe miss a year and then play them again. This one has so much intrigue, I guess, just because you got Kirby Smart, who doesn't, like you said, doesn't lose twice to the same team and has had just an amazing career at Georgia. He's been the number one disciple for Coach Saban. I mean, and Kirby Smart is 108-19 in his career after leaving Alabama as a head coach, which is pretty impressive. But he just hasn't mastered Alabama. So, he's got this one circled. I guess to me, the thing, Chris, is Bama's just been so bad on the road under Coach DeBoer in the last 3 times out, just terrible. Like terrible against Florida State, awful against Michigan, which was a bowl game. The Oklahoma game was embarrassingly bad. So why should I expect Alabama to do anything other than what I've seen the last 3 times out?
No, that's fair. And they were pretty good against LSU. Milroe was,
they were awesome against them.
Was dynamic, and they played really good football in that game. But more times than not, you're right. I mean, they lose at Vandy. They lost at Tennessee. Those were close games, and they didn't just get blown out in those games. So I think that's something that most Bama fans, and I think college football people around the country are waiting to see what you just asked answer. Can they rise up and play a football at the place that's probably, probably to it. There's been no place over the last, 5-6 years harder to play than Georgia, especially at night. I think the night thing makes it even more difficult. And I've been there for a lot of night games, man. And that place is crazy. Kirby's teams play to that crowd. So Bama's going to have to play the best they played. I'll say this, Mick, they're going to have to play the best they played under Kalen since the first half of the Georgia game last year to win this game. And I'm not saying they can't do it. I think they can. I had a chance to sit down or talk Zoom with Ty Simpson last week, and he's the kind of, I think he's got the kind of mettle you want at that position going on the road. He is a tough kid. He's a focused kid. I like the fact that the guys around him on that team have really rallied around him.
Yeah.
They believe in him. He's come back. He didn't play great in the first game, but Ty's not the reason they lost to Florida State. He's played outstanding football since then. I think they've done some things with him. He's done, he told me, he said, I had to sell scout. What was I not doing? What was I doing that I needed to be more of? I think he was trying too hard to be just perfect and not just play. I think you'll see him certainly do his best to play more instinctively, but the guys around him, Mick, have to play well. They got to protect him, number one, because Kirby and Glenn Schumann, they're going to come after him with some different looks and different blitzes, try to get him off his game, try to get him out of the pocket. So how do they protect him? And down there's a reason you bring in a Bernard. There's a reason you go recruit and sign a kid like Ryan Williams, right? Those guys have to make plays down the field. They've got to, because to think you're going to go on the road and run for 200 yards and beat Georgia, it's just probably not realistic. So you got to make some plays, soften them up. And again, I think if Georgia protects if Bama protects and doesn't turn the ball over, this to me will be a second half game. I've seen Georgia, and I know Georgia fans are going to see this and say, well, man, he's dissing Georgia. No, that's not true. It's just they were so good and so they lost 31 guys to the draft in the last 3 drafts. And I think 16 of those were first-round picks.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. Not even Georgia can withstand that type of attrition. And I think I counted the other day, I think there's 8 or 9 players that played at Georgia that are now starting at other schools or playing really significant minutes at other schools. It's just harder for the Georgias and the Alabamas and the Ohio States to stockpile talent and keep a lot of depth. The kids that don't play, that can go play elsewhere, do go. And so this is just not, when I think of that Georgia team in 21, heck, even in 23, the one that Bama beat in the SEC championship game. Remember, Georgia had won 29 straight games at that point. And Bama plays a great game and beats them in the SEC title game. Georgia stays home, and wins by 60 points in their bowl game over Florida State. I just, again, having watched this team and watched Kirby continue to churn out draft picks and develop kids, I think they do that now, certainly now that Nick's gone, as well as anybody in the country. I still don't think this is as deep or as talented a team as we've seen Georgia have in that 21, 22, 23 stretch.
I may not suit up on Saturdays anymore, but I'm still in the game.
Let's roll.
In here, I call the plays, make adjustments, and lay it on the line. Want to feel that fire, that rush? Then you've got to get in the game. I used to say it in the tunnel, and I still say it now. Let's roll.
Let's roll.
Why walk when you can fly? Tap into your inner eagle. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
When you head to the Smoky Mountains, it's only natural to visit Sevierville.
Even we had to check it out.
And we've been here our whole lives.
Experience the adventure of a lifetime.
I'm king of the world.
Even you can get a bird's eye view of the Smokies.
You're going down, Billy. Whoa.
Your Smokies start here.
Touchdown flavor, Gulf Coast style. Whether you're here for the big game or just hungry for a win, Flora-Bama Old River Grill has you covered. Catch every pass, every play, and every moment on our wall of big screens while you enjoy fresh Gulf seafood, legendary burgers, and ice-cold drinks. With waterfront views and game day energy like no other, this is where football meets paradise. Grab your crew, bring your team spirit, and make Flora-Bama Old River Grill your home field advantage this season, where the food, drinks, and football are always a win. Located across from the world-famous Flora-Bama or online at FloraBamaOldRiverGrill.com.
Get your life back when the world's gone crazy. Get your life back, and I don't mean maybe when you know you got to have a friend. You call 900-9000, 'cause Liz wins, and get your life back, baby. Get your life back, baby. Call 900-9000. Stephen Mesrano.
As it gets to her. Saturday, October 4th, Pearl River Resort Silver Star Convention Center. Tickets on sale now at PearlRiverResort.com. More at AaronLewisMusic.com.
I'm American as it gets.
Aaron Lewis and the Stateliners. American as it gets to her.
Barry Buckner for Tuscaloosa Hyundai. When Hyundai introduced America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, it was one of a kind. But you know us, how can we improve on that? Tuscaloosa Hyundai was first in the nation with a 1,000,000-mile warranty on every new Hyundai. When we told customers no charge, they smiled, and you will too. At Tuscaloosa Hyundai, home of the Million Mile Smile.
Welcome back to the Flora-Bama Old River Grill, and we're talking Alabama and Georgia, 6:30, Stanford Stadium in Athens. I want to thank the gang at Black Belt Outdoor. They're in the heart of the Black Belt region of Alabama, and since then they've had expanded their coverage into 13 different counties around the state of Alabama with static and digital billboards. They promote us each week, Jake. The show is constantly promoted by them, and we appreciate them so much. It's time for the odd segment on here, and it is great to bring on the man that started this show himself. Not you, Jake Coker, but him, Baron Huber, the godfather of the Tailgate Show. What's up, dude? Let me do that again. Try that.
Is this thing on?
Yes. Man, look, we've come a long way. We've stayed alive somehow.
I was about to say things have gone downhill.
Some things never change.
Things never change.
You just, the beating I've taken in between breaks here. It's unbelievable.
That's what happens when you have a gluten allergy, man.
I haven't made that announcement yet, by the way.
Oh, sorry. I just violated every HIPAA policy known to man. Morgan & Morgan, that needs to be your next sponsor.
That's
get
actually
them after me.
Steve Mesrano.
That's right.
Gets us covered on that. So how you been, Baron? It's good to see you, man.
Been great, man. Just came in here smelling like a fish house, and that's not a joke. That's a real thing.
You played on the 2009 National Championship Alabama team in 2008. You went to Athens, and you played in the blackout game. And I felt like that was always Alabama's coming out party with Coach Saban. I thought that was one of the biggest wins that Coach had.
I would agree. It was an exclamation point on what we thought we could do, and we actually did it for the first time. The Clemson game that year, the first game was a big one because that was the first really ranked team that we had been an underdog and won and beat in several years. And then to go into Athens up 31-0 at halftime.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I mean, that was an ass kicking in the first half.
Oh,
now,
dude,
I was
great.
responsible for the comeback. I blew a punt coverage and got one blocked, and then next thing you know, we're in a ball game. But it was still I still think about that first drive. We ran Sally, which was a slip screen. I don't know if you guys call it Sally still. Yeah,
still called it that.
So we ran a couple slip screens and just did whatever we wanted to do all the way down. And Glenn Coffey punched it in, and that moment, that drive in that game was a turning point for our program, I think, because we knew we could do it. We just hadn't seen ourselves do it yet. And we built off it from there. And you know what? That year, our goal was to go to the SEC championship, and we did. Our goal wasn't to win it, and we didn't. But that drive, the first drive of the 08 blackout game in Athens was really the start of it all.
Well, you guys both played in the last two, right? And he was the quarterback in 2015. What shared experiences in this matchup?
I'm just sitting here thinking about this. It seems like the torch was passed from Florida to Alabama far quicker than the torch. The torch still hasn't been passed from Georgia or from Alabama to Georgia yet. It's kind of weird. You think about it,
right?
They aren't able to transition to that power over Alabama yet. 1-9 over the last 10 matchups. I mean, I felt like that year we beat Florida in the SEC championship was kind of the passing of the torch, and nobody ever looked back. It was Alabama from then on out.
And I hope that doesn't change.
Yeah.
But this is a game where you have to win if you're Alabama.
Oh, it's pretty close to me. I think it's a game you got to win if you're Kalen DeBoer.
Yeah.
I don't know much about Alabama. We're going to keep going, but for him and his career there, I think it's probably a big moment for him.
I think it's a bigger moment for Greg Byrne because there's a lot of people, the money people at Alabama, that aren't real satisfied with the way that we played against Florida State, and this is an opportunity to get some of the heat off, right? You go out there and you perform and you take care of business. All anybody wants that's an Alabama fan is to obviously to win, but to go out there and be super competitive, right? We have very high standards, and I didn't feel like we've been that way the last 3 times we've been out of Bryant-Denny Stadium.
I mean, the winning is what makes it fun, right? I mean,
that's what it's
the
all
fun's
about.
In the winning.
Why show up if you're not planning on winning?
Exactly. But I think you can stomach close losses like we've had in the last, 15, 20 years where, you can kind of point to moments in the game and be like, yeah, we shot ourselves in the foot here. Maybe it was a stroke of bad luck or, we hadn't had very many moments where we just didn't show up. And for me, obviously, I want to win them all, but the showings that we've had and how we lost is concerning to me.
Yeah,
because that definitely it does.
To me, when you look at teams like you watch Georgia, we've talked about this already. Front-running teams aren't going to consistently beat Georgia because one big play, two big plays, a good drive. That doesn't affect Georgia's mentality. They're going to go out there and they're going to execute no matter what the score is or who they're playing, and that's what you want to see if Alabama loses. It's not a big deal to me as long as guys are showing up. They're playing with toughness, discipline.
You want to win, but
and that's what you want to see. And so, again, who knows what's going to happen today? Obviously we're all pulling for Alabama, and I've got a lot of faith in Kalen DeBoer and that whole coaching staff. But I want to see us come out there and play physical, and make it a game where Georgia realizes that this is Alabama, and I don't want to play them again.
All right, it's time to do our pick segment. This is brought to you by Pearl River Resort, the Timeout Sports Lounge. It is an hour and a half from Tuscaloosa, 2 and change from Birmingham. Full casino. You don't have to go to Vegas to get that full Vegas experience. All you got to do is go to Pearl River Resort and the Golden Moon Casino. 20 big screen TVs with all the major sports networks, 12 state-of-the-art odds wager boards listing all the games and scores, 3 stations in place for in-person bets, and that full bar. That's over at Pearl River Resort. It's time to bring him on now, Kenny White, from all the way out in Las Vegas to join us here on the show. And let's pick these games, guys. And let me start with the game that Game Day decided to take instead of Alabama and Georgia. It is Penn State, the favorite, hosting Oregon. Kenny, good to see you. Let's get right into this. 3.5 point favorites. Penn State in this game, Kenny. I can't believe that.
Yeah, Mick, thanks for having me on the show. First of all, this game, there's so much going on here. My number is right on the side. I made Penn State 3.5 myself. The whiteout game is big. Penn State has been very, very good in this whiteout game. The crowd's great. The home field is worth so much. But James Franklin has that stigma that he can't beat top 5 teams, and he struggles versus really good football teams, and that's what you have in Oregon. So with my number being right on, which way would I lean in this game? I'm going to take the points. I'm always going to lean to that dog if I've got a reason to. And this one, I think it is. It's all the pressure that Aller has on him, that he can't beat a top 5 team, all the pressure that James Franklin has. There's something to that. It's not because they feel the pressure. It's they just don't match up with great talent. And Oregon has great talent. I think it's going to be a close game right down to the wire. And I'll take the Ducks plus the points.
All right. What about you, Jake?
I thought Oregon would be favored by more. This is kind of one of those lines that seems to be a red flag for me. And
he's got his own philosophy.
I'm a Vegas conspiracy theorist, and I just think something's off. James Franklin, as Kenny said, not known for winning big games. I think he pulls it out today.
All right, Barron.
Oregon, Dan Lanning's got a little more dog in him.
All right. I like where you're at. All right, let's pick that second game right now, guys. And look, we're on a little bit later, so I know this isn't a marquee matchup, but in the SEC, it's one that we love. Kentucky's at South Carolina. Kentucky lost to Ole Miss in a battle. South Carolina, we thought they were going to be a top 10 team. They get blown out by Vanderbilt, but they're still at home favored by 5.5. The over-under is 47.5. Jake Coker, start with you.
I haven't paid too much attention to either one of these teams, to be honest with you.
We don't hire you for the great commentary for no reason.
That's right. I mean, I feel like they don't carry a whole lot of weight. So, I think it's a 50-50 split on the public. And I don't know why you'd bet on this one, but I'll take Kentucky.
He's telling you not to watch the game. Barron?
The Cats, Cox, give me the Cats.
All right, Kenny White, save this segment, please. Please save it.
Yeah, I will. And I'm going to go to the head coach of South Carolina, Frank Beamer's son, has done a really good job. This guy's a really good football coach. I think he's improved the talent level, but more than anything, he's improved both sides of the football with fundamentals and special teams. Frank Beamer that was his specialty. Well, South Carolina is very, very good on the special team side as well. So I'm going to play them at home. Their quarterback got dinged up a couple of weeks ago, Lenora Sellers, a dual threat guy that's a very accurate passer, and he takes care of the football. I think he's the difference maker in this game. I like the Gamecocks at home.
All right. And Kenny, you just stay right there. And we're going to pick the Bama game coming up here in our last segment. But you're going to get the opportunity to do that right now. Bama is at Georgia. This spreads all the way down to 2.5 points. Georgia, the favorite, 53.5 is the over-under. Now, I'm going to tell you a secret, Kenny. If you use the Coker capping technique, you would take Georgia all day in this one. As he shakes his head, yes. If you use Kenny White's power ratings, how do you have this one? And don't forget, you're going to see me out in Vegas next Friday. So I'm going to be out there hanging with you. Give everybody the reason to take who and why.
Well, I've been on with you, 5 years now. And over that time, when we had Nick Saban when we first started, and I was very high on Alabama all of those years. I could come on every show. And I was, I'm not swayed by whose show I'm on. And it was just my ratings and the work I do. And I believe in what I do so strongly. And it was Alabama, 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 Alabama every time. And it was great to be on the Alabama Tailgate show because my numbers said what was supposed to happen.
Yeah,
we were right.
He's going to tell everybody to take Georgia and run.
Go ahead and sew it up, Kenny.
Yeah, you know where I'm going. Well, my ratings are Georgia 5.5. But one thing, Kirby Smart, I think he's 1-6 versus Bama and 99-8 against everyone else. He struggles versus the old school. You think he'd have a little insight, but I'm going with Georgia in this game, laying the 3 here. I think the Bulldogs just have a little bit too much home edge in this one. I hate to say it, I know, but Bama fans, I've been on Bama 99% of the time. I'm sorry I got to go the other way today.
That's all right, Kenny. Tell everybody how they can get the power ratings.
Yeah, I hate to tell them where I'm at, Mick, because I might get some death threats now after that pick. But KennyWhiteSports.com, it's the easiest place to find me in the power ratings. Home of the power ratings, $50 a month, less than $2 a day, gets you the best power rating information and projected final scores of every single game that hasn't been played yet this year. So you use it week to week. It's your foundation. If you want to bet sports and win, go to KennyWhiteSports.com.
All right, I'll see you next week out in Vegas, my friend. Thank you for coming on with us. Can't wait to hang.
We'll do an arm wrestling competition.
I'll see you in your new studio, and we'll talk to you again on the show next week as well. When we come up after this next break, Thom Abraham is going to join us from ESPN Radio up in North Alabama. Baron Huber, Jay Coker, I'm Mick Gillispie. More of the Bama Tailgate Show right after this.
Well, howdy, fans, and welcome to Week 5 of Leonard's Losers. The little smart pill machine turned on the afterburners last week, finishing 28-4. Let's see if she can continue those remarkable numbers as we welcome a colorful fall season where college football takes a front seat in the sports world. USC versus Illinois. Lincoln Riley brings his Trojans to Champaign for this nooner homecoming Big Ten matchup against the Fighting Illini. The Left Coast boys are 4-0, defeating Michigan State last week, while the home team is 3-1, losing to Indiana last Saturday. The homecoming parade is Friday night, featuring REO Speedwagon as the Grand Marshal. Don't think the Illini will hit the field singing the blockbuster Keep on Loving You. Leonard's loser, USC. Notre Dame versus Arkansas. The Pope's pupils journey to Fayetteville for this first-time matchup ever on ABC. The Irish have 2 losses in this early season to Miami and Texas A&M, while the Hogs are 2-2. 7 of the Auerbach's next 8 opponents are against ranked teams, and they best hunker down. Last year's national championship runner-up has stumbled early, but look for Marcus Freeman to make a strong run starting Saturday. Leonard's loser, Arkansas. Oregon versus Penn State. It's the number 6 Ducks waddling to Happy Valley to face off with the number 3 Nittany Lions. Through 4 weeks, Donald has one of the most productive offenses in the country, while the Felines are rested from a bye week. This marquee tussle will have major implications down the road. It's a slobber knocker from the get-go. ESPN College Game Day will add to the festivities. Leonard's loser in a mild upset, Penn State. Alabama versus Georgia. This primetime SEC marquee matchup is required viewing Saturday night. The Red Clay Hounds at 3-0 are riding the number 3 pony, and the Red Efforts are 2-1 on the 16 horse. Both teams are coming off a bye week and ready for this ripped snorter. It will be the Tide's first trip between the hedges since 2015, when they defeated the Dogs 38-10. ABC has all the action Saturday starting at 7:30. The Tide will be high, but UGA has an excellent backstroke. Leonard's loser in a close one, Alabama. Tennessee versus Mississippi State. The Big Orange heads to Starkville for their first SEC road game. The Bull Puppies are undefeated, while the Vols lost a heartbreaker in overtime to Georgia 2 weeks ago. Tennessee quarterback Joey Aguilar has been impressive thus far and should only get better. This one will come down to who has the best canine, and Smokey is odds-on better than Bully. Leonard's loser, Mississippi State. LSU versus Ole Miss. The boys from the Bayou head to Oxford looking for Johnny Reb in an SEC battle of undefeateds. Reb head mentor Lane Kiffin is upset with an afternoon game at home, declaring it should have been a night game. Tiger quarterback Garrett Nussmeier has been a solid signal caller, and the Reb secondary best hunker down. Leonard's loser, LSU. Fans, we're going to take a break right now and hear a word from Sponsorsville. We'll be right back with more Leonard's Losers.
Roll Tide, everybody, and welcome back to the Bama Tailgate Show. It has been a lot of fun hanging out here at the Old River Grill at the Flora-Bama, looking out over the water and seeing the seagulls and the blue skies and hanging out with all of our friends that have come to check us out. And we appreciate you guys, too, whether you're watching on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. Like, subscribe. Thank you so much for being here. Loved all the comments. Or if you're listening on radio, including our flagship station in Birmingham and Tuscaloosa, where we were number 1 last year, 106.9, or maybe in North Alabama on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. And the reason I say that is it's time to bring on our good friend Thom Abraham, the big dog himself, to join us here on the show and talk some Alabama. Good to see you, Tom. Got Baron Huber here with us, part of the 09 championship team. Mr. Jake Coker here as well. And now you, as we talk about this Crimson Tide matchup with the Georgia Bulldogs. What are the things that Bama needs to do today, Tom?
Well, I think the biggest thing is obviously that you always need to take care of the football. I mean, that's a big part of it. I think that they want to use their offense to kind of control this game, and defense has been so great. I think that if you use your offense to limit the amount of snaps that Georgia will have in the game, I think that'd be a big part of it. They also, if they can get on the board early and try and take that crowd out of it a little bit, they're going to be lathered up pretty good. It's a night game between the hedges. That's a big deal. They've been talking about, the fans were talking about doing some sort of a blackout, which makes no sense whatsoever, because we remember what happened the last time when they tried that in 2008, and Alabama just absolutely destroyed them. Take care of the football, limit the penalties, and play with a lot of enthusiasm, because that's what we haven't seen on the road as of late. Now, the narrative is that, under Kalen DeBoer, they can't play on the road at all. Well, that's not the case. They went to Wisconsin and drilled those guys. They went to LSU, beat those guys bad as well. It's just the last few that is sticking in everybody's head. So, against a great opponent like this, not an unranked Vanderbilt team or Oklahoma team, but a great opponent here, I think that they show up and they got to play with great enthusiasm right from the get-go and be ready to go and not get, run over by a Georgia team that I don't know how good they are. I don't feel like, they're the team we've seen in the last couple of years, but we don't know. And you just don't want to give them, that life and have that crowd, be getting into full throat.
You mentioned the blackout. I hope the blackout is actually Kalen DeBoer wearing black, because Barron was actually there in 2008 when they decided to black out against the Tide. Barron, what do you remember about that?
I think the secret kind of got out early in the week that they may do it, and so it was definitely used as motivation. And then getting to the stadium and seeing everyone wear black, and then we had our little slither in the corner. Right
I was
there
in that.
In the white was really cool, because our fans all wore white. Instead of crimson, it was a distinct.
Yeah. How did they coordinate it though? I didn't see anybody that wasn't their fan wearing.
I feel like
anything
everybody
but black.
describes it now as a funeral.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's what Scott Cochran called it, right?
I don't know how they do the like the checkered kneeling thing. I'm not
Coordination,
smart enough to figure
man.
that one out yet.
Coordination. Well, it was one of the greatest nights of my life. I'm just going to tell you that. You guys won the football game. I didn't make it home. All right, let's talk about Kalen DeBoer and what he needs to do, Tom, to win this type of road game. And you mentioned it. He did win some road games last year at Alabama. What does he need to do? What does this team need to do to win this one?
Well, I think that's what we just talked about. I mean, they got to come out with great alacrity early on, and they got to come out with great enthusiasm early on and be ready to play right from the jump. Now, we saw that against Florida State. That's why that was so perplexing, because they went down the field with one of those classic Alabama punch you in the mouth kind of drives, 16 plays, running the ball right down your throat. So that's why that was very confusing as to how they got away from them. But I think you have to have that kind of a start, and then you got to figure out a way to maintain that throughout the game. And I think if they can do that, they're going to do a great job getting that crowd silenced a little bit. So it's not a matter of whether or not you can start great. It's a matter of whether or not you can maintain that, throughout the game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Coker, you were there 2015, last time Bama played in Athens. Your recollections of the type of environment that this team's going to expect?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be loud. It's going to be packed. I remember warming up prior to that game, throwing with Chris Black, and I looked down towards the corner of the end zone, and our guys are coming out, and all the Georgia players come over there and confront the wrong group of guys on our team. And I just
was Ryan Anderson in that group?
Ryan Anderson was in that group. Sean Robinson, Jonathan Allen, the wrong guys. And I just thought to myself, well, y'all just made a mistake. I wouldn't recommend that.
That was the rain game, right?
It was.
So I was there as a fan.
I was there with you.
I was with Mike Johnson.
Yeah, and you. Remember, John Parker said to take my ticket.
That's exactly right.
Well, I want to ask.
This is a common theme every time you go to Athens.
I'm getting it.
I'd like to ask you two guys, since you played in the thing.
It rained for 2 days straight.
It was
2 days straight.
It was a monsoon, Tom. It was a monsoon there last time.
I'd like to ask the guys.
Alabama, Tom. What does it mean to Alabama? What does it mean to Georgia?
Well, I mean, it's not the end of the line. It's not a elimination game, if you will, but you got to run the table. If you don't win this football game, and now you're 2-2, you have got to run the table. 10-2 teams from the SEC will go to the playoff. So obviously for Alabama, if they can get the victory here and then, tag Georgia with that first loss, that goes a long ways. Tennessee's already got a loss. We'll see what happens with them this week. I suspect that they'll run roughshod over Mississippi State, honestly. But it's huge for Alabama, because I think with a win, all of a sudden Alabama is going to be, they'll pop into the top 10 where, and regardless of where you think they belong right now in that AP poll. And I know these polls, quote unquote, don't matter, but they're still out there and it means something. With a loss for Alabama, by the way, Vanderbilt's going to go to Tuscaloosa ranked higher than Alabama, because probably Alabama would drop unless it was they got beat by a field goal. Maybe they would hold their spot. Somehow they lost 3 spots in the AP by not playing last week. But if they lose this game, Vandy comes in probably going to be a 10-point dog, 8-point dog, and yet they're going to be ranked higher than Alabama is in the poll. But I think the big thing is to get everybody tagged with a loss. I think that's the deal. It tags Georgia with a loss, and it would be huge. It would announce to everybody that don't be throwing dirt on Alabama yet. They're right there, because they'll be favored in every game the rest of the way. So that's why this is so huge.
Right. Well, Tom, tell us about the biggest matchup to keep an eye on in this game, and then how people can catch your show.
I think the matchup, O-line versus D-line, in as much as that, this Georgia D-line hasn't been what it has been in the last few years when they were having 3 and 4 guys getting drafted into the NFL every year. So I think the Alabama offensive line, they show flashes. I need to see Caden Proctor just be the beast that everybody talks about him being, in this game. And I think that offensive line, keep Ty Simpson clean in the pocket and be able to pound the ball and run the ball a little bit against this front. I think we might be able to see a little bit of a surprise there, because I do think that this defensive line for Georgia is a little bit vulnerable. As far as my show goes, it's every day in Nashville, Huntsville, some stations in between as well. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone is our affiliate in Huntsville. That's my home station there. And of course, you can get the app, the 97.7 ESPN, The Zone app. Listen to it that way. It's on YouTube every day as well. So, there's a lot of different ways to consume it.
Right. And for Coker and people like him, you're also part of Bassmasters.
Well, yeah, Bassmaster, we got a big tournament next week in Decatur, Alabama, which is going to be on Lake Wheeler. And I'll be doing some radio and TV there for that and emceeing the weigh-ins. And, of course, Bassmaster Radio is heard coast to coast over the weekend as well. It was this morning, and 200 and plus affiliates from coast to coast taking in that. So, yeah, it's always good.
All right, there he is, Thom Abraham. We talk to him every week from up there in North Alabama, and a real radio legend in the state of Alabama, and our guy, the big dog. When we come back, final segment at the Flora-Bama Old River Grill. We're going to pick this game, Bama and Georgia, the Bama Tailgate Show, right after this.
I may not suit up on Saturdays anymore, but I'm still in the game.
Let's roll.
In here, I call the plays, make adjustments, and lay it on the line. Want to feel that fire, that rush? Then you've got to get in the game. I used to say it in the tunnel, and I still say it now. Let's roll.
Let's roll.
This isn't just a beer. It's a lager. A medium-bodied, amber-colored, one-of-a-kind beer. Made from those bold enough to brew it, for those bold enough to drink it. Elevate your taste. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
Barry Buckner for Tuscaloosa Hyundai. When Hyundai introduced America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, it was one of a kind. But you know us, how can we improve on that? Tuscaloosa Hyundai was first in the nation with a 1,000,000-mile warranty on every new Hyundai. When we told customers no charge, they smiled, and you will too. At Tuscaloosa Hyundai, home of the 1,000,000-mile smile.
This isn't just a place, it's a pulse and a rhythm, where game day is more than a tradition. Heart-pounding yet? It's where the flavors are bold and the portions are generous. Mouth-watering yet? Art, music, and culture paint the city's soul. Creativity flowing yet? So whether you come for the thrill, the taste, the beauty, or the tradition, you'll stay for the Tusca life. Ready to feel it? This is Tuscaloosa. Live the Tusca life.
Get your life back when the world's gone crazy. Get your life back, and I don't mean maybe when you know you got to have a friend. You call 900-9000, 'cause Liz wins, and get your life back, baby. Get your life back, baby. Call 900-9000. Stephen Mesrano.
When you're ready to double down, dive in, drive for a show, and not look back. Roll into Pearl River Resort. From tee times to table games, water slides by day, slots by night. Savor the flavors, feel the fun, win big. Let's roll into Pearl River Resort. Must be 21 or older to play. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Here comes Tracy Lawrence, live for one night only.
If the world had a
Saturday, November 15th, Pearl River Resort Silver Star Convention Center. All the hits, all night long, with CMA and ACM award winner
Baby, a burning hand.
Tracy Lawrence.
Making love just the way I planned.
Tickets on sale now at PearlRiverResort.com.
When you head to the Smoky Mountains, it's only natural to visit Sevierville.
Even we had to check it out.
And we've been here our whole lives.
Experience the adventure of a lifetime.
I'm king of the world.
Even you can get a bird's eye view of the Smokies.
You're going down, Billy. Whoa.
Your Smokies start here.
All right, final segment of the Bama Tailgate Show as we hang at the Old River Grill here at the Flora-Bama, the famous Flora-Bama on the on Perdido Key on the coast. And we get you ready for Alabama against the Georgia Bulldogs. Show's brought to you by Pearl River Resort, Philadelphia, Mississippi. Jay Coker, obviously everyone knows him from his commercials now with Pearl River. And talking about his playing days on there at the Timeout Sports Lounge. And then Baron Huber's hanging out with us here. Started this show, part of the 09 championship Alabama team. Bama and Georgia with this new scheduling, guys, will play more often. Do you like that or not?
Bama and Georgia? No, I like it. I like it a lot. The only one I don't like is not playing LSU every year now.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had the short end of the stick on that one, I think. That was it's been a great game. It's a great rivalry. But I do like the fact that we're going to be able to see more opponents intra-league more often because we have great venues that, we don't get to very often, like Columbia, South Carolina. We're going this year, but when's the last time we were there?
Yeah. Thank you guys for the comments too, as you watch on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. Make sure that you're a subscriber, like and subscribe. You can catch our shows here and then shows throughout the week on the channel as well. And yes, it is. And I appreciate you guys that go to Pearl River, and that is Jake on the commercials. I know some of you guys are asking right now. That is him. And you can tell by the white shirt with the blue buttons.
Can't hide money.
No. The NIL that he missed, he's making up for it. I'm surprised that you guys are like, well, we wanted to play LSU more. I felt like that Bama had to have a Mississippi State type of opponent just to make it more fair. You know what I mean? Like, and I mean, like scheduling wise, Coach Saban said that when they did this, the scheduling where you had the 3 permanent opponents and it was Alabama playing LSU, Tennessee, and Auburn. I'm like, look, I mean, you look at some of these other teams, like Tennessee's playing Kentucky and Vandy and us. I mean, it doesn't even compare,
Yeah, I just like seeing the big matchups. I mean, and you can say you want the easier schedule all you want to, but I love watching these big games. I love watching the Alabama Georgias. Whenever we go to LSU, no matter how good or bad LSU is, or how good or bad we are, that's always going to be a big matchup. It's always the stadium's always going to be full, and people are going to be excited about it. And that's what college football is all about. It's the big venues. It's the culture and tradition. And I mean, I don't want to throw shade at other schools, but I mean, when you play Vandy every year, that's just not a big venue. That's not a big matchup.
Right. And I don't call it shade, but I want Alabama to have that dub, and it's an easy dub. I mean, look, they've played Mississippi State over 100 times and they've lost, less than 20, something like that. I mean, so it's a win. And I think that you got to have those games. You guys played in, on teams. I mean, you had some games that you knew that you had to play well, but that you were going to be able to take care of business. And when your opponents are having these cupcake games, I mean, it's nice to have a couple of those built in, wouldn't you think?
I mean, that's a very Big Ten thought pattern for you, Mick.
Half their conferences like that. We got like 3 teams like that.
We have 12-team playoff now. It's going to go to 16. The more money that gets into college football, it'll expand off of that. So I think you're going to be rewarded in the long run, looking down the line in this sport for playing better competition. I think that's what it's going to try. College football is going to try to create what the NFL uses ad nauseum, parity, as much as possible. The only way to do that is to reward hard schedules. And so I think that's better for TV. I think it's better for the sport. I think it's better as a fan for sure. Yeah, I mean, do I want to see Alabama go, 9-4 in the regular season or 9-3?
Right.
Not really, but if I knew that I saw 12 great games and 9-3 got us into the playoff,
yeah,
I'm for it.
Yeah. And I mean,
Good point.
You weekends like last weekend, where again I made a reference to it earlier in the show, where you've got Florida and Miami as game day. That's the best game you can pick of the entire weekend. A team that's not even ranked playing Miami. I mean, I just you can't keep having these weekends in college football where you have no ranked matchups whatsoever. And really, I mean, there are some good unranked teams, but a bad unranked team versus a top 4 opponent, and that's the highlight of the weekend. No, we can't have that.
That might be the highlight of the ACC, by the way. I don't know. You played in that conference. I mean, I don't know what else is coming down the line. Like, what's the big matchup? Do Florida State and Miami play each other this year?
They do.
Do they? Okay,
do.
well, then that's going to be a big one. But
look at that little side job. I'm not the only one getting punched on. Hey, let's pick this this football game.
I'm like Germany here. I'm picking it up. I'm opening the battle on both fronts.
Bama is a slight underdog in Athens against Georgia. Baron, I'm going to let you go first because Coker has this whole, he's got his own cappers technique that he uses. 2.5 is the over-under of this game. Bama's won 9 out of 10. Georgia's won 33 straight at home. The spread is 2.5. The over-under is 53.5. Where are you going with this one?
Look, we have been the bane of a lot of existence over the last 20 years of how bad we've kicked people's ass.
Yeah.
And the blood is in the water. And I hate it for the guys on the team now because they don't even know what they don't know, and they don't know a lot. And so with the blood being in the water, I like Georgia at 9.5. I love them at 2.5.
You like Kenny White.
I do not think it'll be a very fun day.
Okay. What about you?
Oh, man. That's hard to follow.
Yeah, because you think the same thing.
No, I don't.
If you use your technique that you've taught all of us, something stinks about this line, and it's that you think.
No, but the problem with Alabama, though, is that you don't know which team's going to show up. And what I fear is that we are unable to run the ball, and we're stuck in where Georgia does not respect us, and they got too high the entire game, and we got to have our guys be in the right place and run their routes with precision. And I don't know if we're there yet. And then Ty's got to try to carry the team, much like he did in Tallahassee. And that's what I fear the most. Having Jam Miller come back, I mean, I think that helps out a lot. I think we are very shallow at the running back position. I think Jam brings a lot to the table. But again, conspiracy theorist in me, Vegas knows Bama's showing up, and that's the only thing that's got me thinking we got a real shot here.
The reason why I'm going to take Bama to win this game is because I'm going to tell you the reason why I'm taking Bama to win this game is because those guys have the talent to win. It's been an effort issue for me, and that's why I was so hard on Kalen DeBoer, and I have been hard on Coach DeBoer, and I like him. Like, don't get me wrong, he's got to get this team motivated to play the games that you're supposed to win. He's never had a problem getting the team to be motivated for the games that are big games. When you look at the ranked teams on the schedule, half of Alabama's team was recruited by Georgia. They've heard all of us calling them soft. They know how they played against Florida State. They're not, no one going into this game is going to need to be motivated. I'm more worried about the Vanderbilt game again than I am about this one. I think Alabama's going to go in and play really good football. And if they can establish a run, Ty Simpson has shown me that he is extremely accurate. And I think that's one of the most important qualities that a quarterback has. And you also said that he is, and you can tell, he's not a captain by sea. He's a captain because they realize he's the guy that can get them there.
Yeah. And I will say this too. Georgia, I mean, they've always been known for being very good defensively. They're
not as good this time.
They really haven't been good at pressuring the quarterback this year. And hopefully that continues, this weekend. But I mean, if they give Ty enough time, they're going to be in a lot of trouble, even if they do stop the run. So, I mean, you give a guy like Ty time to make decisions in a clean pocket, no matter what, that is dangerous in and of itself.
Baron, great to hang with you. Jake, awesome hanging with you as always. Next week, we're going to be in Birmingham for the show. at the Striker Strong Golf Tournament. Robbie Glenn is a great friend of the show. We're going to do it there next week, and we're going to talk about Striker Strong and really support those guys. Thank you for hanging out with us. Again, this is the Bama Tailgate Show. Like, subscribe, thumbs up if you're on our YouTube channel. And if you're listening on radio, we appreciate you guys making us number one. Roll Tide, everybody. We'll talk to you next week.